Welcome to step 8. This is the last and final step if you're only going to go up to the point of using an RC unit to control your droid. You'll keep going after this if you're planning to use an Arduino RC solution. Anyway, on this stage, we're going to connect our wireless receiver to our servos. We're going to hook up our power source. We're going to calibrate our remote. And before we do that, we're going to go over all the different parts we have here. We have 4 AA batteries. We have a battery holder over here, which will connect to our switch. This is our on and off switch, which is then going to go to our receiver. And then, of course, we have our transmitter, which is the remote control. This and this come together as a pack, and you can buy them online. They are listed under HOTRC DS600. So that's the one that I get. You could find them anywhere from Amazon or AliExpress or Alibaba if you want to buy in bulk. All right. So before we get started, I do want to let you know that you could go for longer battery life and buy one of these 4.8 volt, 2000 milliamp hour NIM rechargeable battery packs, but then you need a recharger, and these can actually end up costing more, but I just want to throw that in there. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to load up the batteries, right? Negative, positive, it shows it right there, and let's go ahead, put those all in. Okay. The next thing we want to do is we have our on and off switch here. We're going to go ahead and connect from the off side of it. We're going to connect that into our power source over here. And we're going to match it up, red to red, black to black, just like that. Okay? Make sure that you please put the positive to the positive and then negative to the negative. Okay? And now we're going to connect this to the receiver, and this is going to apply power to the receiver. The first row is signal, so nothing is going to go in there now. Then the next row is positive, and the last row is negative. So you're going to take your positive and plug it right like that. There we go. And you can see it's on. Now, the reason why we have a switch here is because this way you can save your battery. And so when you're not using it anymore, you really want to just cut the power to the unit and save it. That's why we put in the on and off switch. Another thing about the HOTRC remote, it does come with a USB-A to USB-C cable. And you plug that in one end into like an iPhone adapter or a Samsung adapter, or you just plug it into a powered USB port, and then you plug that other end into this, and that's what charges your remote control. Okay, now let's get started by putting in the necessary servos. So now we're going to dig into our droid, and we're going to take out the necessary parts. Okay, so we have the left leg, the right leg, and those, and then the dome. The longer one here is the dome. That's going to go last. And for this, it's actually relatively easy. You're going to face it up where you see the connectors, those silver connectors, and you're going to just plug them right on in. Just so you know, the orange is the signal, the red is the power, and the brown is the negative. So we're going to put those in. Okay, put that one in. Okay, and now the last one. So we have channels 1, 2, and 3 all hooked up. And now what you're going to do is we're now going to power this on, and we're going to pair the unit. First, we got to go ahead and apply power. So we're going to turn this on. Okay. And once it's turned on, there's a button right over here, and you can press down on it, and it will start kind of blinking faster. And then you turn on your remote, and there you go. Okay. Now, if this happens, we have to go ahead and do some calibration, and this is normal. So when you turn on remote control, if your servo is spinning like this over and over again, you have to calibrate your remote like so. You're going to go ahead and you're going to hold down the 3 button, which is located right over here, and you're going to hold it down and press the power off. And then while you're holding down the 3, you're going to turn it back on, and that's it. Now, basically, when you press 3, you can see that the remote now controls the gear moving in a clockwise motion. And if you do 4, it goes in a counterclockwise motion. So that's how you correct the dome servo from spinning on an ongoing basis, okay? Another thing you'll notice is that now 1 and 2 are in hybrid mode. And that means that they're going to work together so that when we move the remote control forward, it will go forward. And if we move it back, it will go back. If we turn right, oh, well, that one we can change accordingly. That's actually relatively easy. You just have to swap out these 2. So if you feel like if you're turning right and it's going left, or you're turning left and it's going right, you just swap out 1 and 2. So now you'll notice that basically you could you hold the remote now like this, just like that. You go back, you go forward, turn right, turn left, just like that. And you'll see once again, 1 and 2 are in hybrid mode. Okay, so now that we corrected that constant spinning, one of the things we did by that was by putting servos 1 and 2 into hybrid mode. And by doing that, you'll notice that the icon will change. Right over here, you'll actually see 1 and 2 with these arrows crisscrossed. If you go forward, you hold the remote like this. Now, I would love for someone to tell me, because half of these instructions are in Chinese and the other parts that are in English doesn't really touch upon this. So definitely if you know more, please add it to the comments. But as of now, I hold the remote kind of like this. And so forward, back, right, left. Let me show you that again. Forward, back, right, left. Turning the dome counterclockwise, clockwise. So now that this is all set, and just so you know, I actually put if I'm standing behind the R2, the R2's left leg over here goes into the first channel. The second channel will go to the right leg, and again, the third will go to the middle servo. So what you do is you just take all of this and you just tuck those guts right into there. Just shove those guts right in and try to leave this accessible. And now what you're going to do is you're going to put your head on. Now, if you notice, I'm going to now kind of zoom out a little bit, and you're going to kind of notice that sometimes the droid actually tends to kind of move on its own a little bit. And that's where these come into play. This is trimming. So if you notice that it's kind of moving on its own, what you do is you press these trims because you're going to reduce the amount of signal that it might be receiving. And so you trim it down or you trim it up, and the same thing over here, trim it up or trim it down, and then you do that until it gets nice and stationary. And so again, you're gonna go ahead, you're gonna move it forward, backwards, and see that? Clockwise, counterclockwise, there you go. Beautiful. So that's it. You've now built your droid. He's ready to go racing, and thanks for watching.